So why not?
People gonna do what they're gonna do. No matter, they're not gonna be stopped if they wanna do it.
Are we winning the war on drugs? Why or why not?
No. And the problem is, do I need to tell you who I am? Okay. Well, one of the things that I do is the treatment of addicts. The war on drugs is being hopelessly lost because it's the wrong war. Thinking that drugs are the problem is the same error as thinking that sugar is the problem with diabetes. People who have diabetes have an abnormal response to sugar, but sugar is not the problem. You know, we don't treat diabetes by going out and arresting people who buy sugar.
We went in the war on drugs. Why or why not?
I would have to say no. If you look at, I spent 6 years. I founded and ran a women's drug and alcohol regeneration center, and there was always a wait list. Right now in Pickens County Jail, 75% of the women alone incarcerated there are there from either drug convictions or convictions resulting from the use of drugs.
Do you think we're winning the war on drugs?
No.
Can you tell us why or why not?
The reason we're not winning the war on drugs is the fact that there's very limited resources in law enforcement. There's just not enough of us.
Mm-hmm. I think marijuana should be legalized.
I think it should, just because, number one, it's not as addictive as alcohol. The health effects are not nearly as bad on your body as alcohol is. We lose a lot of money in revenue that we could be making from the taxation. I think they call it sin tax for cigarettes and alcohol.
Right.
And obviously people are doing it anyway. So.
Well, if everyone did it, what do you think America would be like?
There's no way that I could know. I couldn't say. I can't imagine. Alcohol's legal, but not everybody drinks. So I don't think everybody would just go nuts and say, oh, you know, marijuana's legal now. Let's all start doing it. So.
Yeah. Okay. Should we re-legalize marijuana?
Whether or not we should or shouldn't is not the question. I don't think that we should have it illegal for the same reason that we're not going to win the war on drugs. Whether or not we legalize it or not, people are going to continue to use it. And they're going to continue using it for good and bad purposes. And whether or not we legalize it or not is really not the issue or the question. If we decide to quit spending so much money on arresting people for it, we'll probably be in better shape as a country.
Should marijuana be re-legalized?
Yeah, they still do it.
Why?
Why? Well, medicinal purposes. And I don't think it has as much effect on people as alcohol does.
Do you think we should re-legalize marijuana?
No.
Can you tell us why or why not?
If it's kind of like anything else that you legalize a substance. Give you an example. I think it would cost us more to legalize marijuana, because then if you legalize marijuana, you're going to have to put a tax on it. And it's kind of like if you go back to the Prohibition era, 20s, 30s, and then when they legalized alcohol again, you've got to have an agency to monitor what's being taxed and what isn't. You're going to have individuals that find ways to generate the marijuana, manufacture it, sell it, and avoid paying taxes on it, just like they did with alcohol back in, the early moonshine days.
What do you think would happen if everyone in America just started using marijuana?
I think the government would change their mind and maybe start taxing it to pay off this debt.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. What do you think would happen if everybody in America just started using marijuana? What do you think the government would do?
That's a great question. I don't know what the government would do, but here's the real answer to that question. if everybody were forced, so to speak, it's just a hypothetical situation, you have to begin using marijuana. Afterwards, if you don't want to use it, then you don't use it. The people who are not addicts would probably try it, feel the effects, say, oh, I'm kind of sleepy, a little bit paranoid, and I want to eat a lot. I don't want to do that anymore. And they wouldn't use it. The people who are addicts with the disease of addiction would go, wow, I really like the way that makes me feel. I'm going to keep using that. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to keep using it to the detriment of everything in my life. And I'm going to lose everything eventually. A third group of people who are not addicts, but marijuana therapeutically helps their disease states, such as cancer, anorexia from other metabolic conditions, will use marijuana and go, wow, that kind of helps. I think I'll use it maybe every once in a while, and would have no trouble with it whatsoever. So one of three things would happen.
What do you think would happen if, just for instance, everybody in America at one time just started doing it?
Smoking
Just-
marijuana?
Yeah, just to try to, get the government to legalize it.
My opinion on that, you would have probably close to 1 million, the younger generation, close to 1 million people within the first day involved in DUI-related accidents. It's like anything else, you legalize marijuana, you're gonna have everybody going down the road smoking a joint under the influence of drugs. They're gonna look up and they're gonna see a red light while they're smoking, and they're gonna get off on something else with their buddy, and they're gonna run through the red light and run over somebody.
If everyone did it, what do you think America would be like?
There's no way that I could know. I couldn't say. I can't imagine. Alcohol's legal, but not everybody drinks. So I don't think everybody would just go nuts and say, oh, marijuana's legal now. Let's all start doing it.
Everybody
So.
would, yeah.